Hello everyone, and welcome to the fresh and exciting Python programming course. I am your instructor here to take you on this beautiful and educative journey about learning Python. We will be going through several basics of Python and also perform a deep dive in several other topics. This being the very first introduction lecture, let's see what all we will be covering throughout the journey of this course. So let's get started. In this particular lecture, we will learn what exactly is Python. Then we will see why do we need Python. Next up, we will see different flavors or implementations in Python. And then we will see what all topics we will be covering throughout this course. Finally, we will quickly see who are the target audience for this course. Now let's see what exactly is Python. Python is a general purpose programming language. There are several programming languages and they excel in their own way. Python is a very popular programming language which has its application in a wide variety of fields. It is used for general purposes like website and application development, automations, etc. It is also used in areas where deep domain expertise and knowledge is required. For example, data science and data analytics, gaming, medical science, astronomy, and so on. All these different use cases signify the wide applicability of Python in different fields. So we learned what exactly is Python and what are the different fields where we can use Python. Now let's see why exactly do we need Python. Among all other languages that exist out there, let's see why, or rather what features and advantages does Python provide which make it so popular. Python is a very versatile language. It can be used in many varieties of environments such as mobile applications, desktop applications, web development, hardware programming, and even in highly domain expertise areas as we saw in the last slide. Python can be used in nearly any kind of environment and one will not face any kind of performance issue irrespective of the platform one is working on. The versatility of Python makes it more attractive to use due to its high number of applications. Python has a simple and easy to learn syntax. Python language is very easy to use and learn for beginners. The Python language is one of the most accessible programming languages available because it has simplified syntax and is not complicated, which gives more emphasis on natural language. Due to its ease of learning and usage, Python codes can be easily written and executed much faster than other programming languages. Next, Python has several standard free tools and libraries. Python comes inbuilt with a large number of libraries that can be imported at any instance and can be used in a specific program. The presence of libraries also makes sure that you don't need to write all the code yourself and can import the same from those that already exist in the libraries. Python has excellent libraries that you can use to select and save your time and effort on the initial cycle of development. Some of the popular Python libraries are Matplotlib, SciPy, Beautiful Soup, NumPy, and Django. Python is widely supported. Python is highly portable and it provides support for other programming languages as well. Suppose you are running Python on Windows and you need to shift the same to either a Mac or a Linux system. Then you can easily achieve the same in Python without having to worry about changing the code. Being coded in C, Python by default supports the execution of code written in other programming languages such as Java and C#. Python has a large and active community. Python is an open source programming language, which means that anyone can create and contribute to its development. Python has an online forum where thousands of coders gather daily to improve this language further. There are plenty of documentations and guides for Python language that learners and developers of any skill level or ages can use and receive the support required to enhance their knowledge in Python programming language. The Python developer community is one of the most active programming language communities out there. So we saw what different advantages Python provides and why it is loved and so popular out there. Let's see different flavors of Python. First of all, we have CPython. CPython is the default implementation of Python where Python is implemented in C programming language. In this, Python code is internally converted into machine understandable code using standard C functions. Next up, we have Jython, which was earlier known as JPython. Jython is an implementation of the Python programming language designed to run on the Java virtual machine. Jython is extremely useful because it provides the productivity features of a mature scripting language while running on a Java virtual machine. Then we have PyPy implementation. This is the implementation using the Python language. PyPy often runs faster than CPython because PyPy is a compiler while CPython is an interpreter. Well, I use the term compiler and interpreter, which may seem new to many of you. I will talk a bit about compiler and also about interpreters in the next lecture. For now, you can understand that compiler or interpreter is a software which converts a human written code into a machine understandable code. Then we have IronPython implementation. IronPython is an open source implementation of the Python programming language which is tightly integrated with the .NET framework. Next up, we have RubyPython. RubyPython is a bridge between the Ruby and Python interpreters. It embeds a Python interpreter in the Ruby applications process using foreign function interface. And then we have stackless Python. Small tasks which should run individually are called tasklets. Tasklets run independently on CPU and can communicate with each other via something called as channels. A thread is a process which runs hundreds of such tasklets. We can create thread and tasklets in stackless Python implementation. And finally, we have the Anaconda implementation. When Python is redeveloped for handling large-scale data processing, predictive analytics, and scientific computing, this is where Anaconda Python implementation comes useful. This implementation mainly focuses on large scale of data. In this, we saw different implementations of Python. Among all this, CPython is the default implementation, and in this course, we will be learning Python with respect to this default implementation only. Let's quickly go over the topics which we will be covering throughout this course. First of all, we will cover some basics about Python and we will see Python installation and Python IDE installation. Next up, we will cover different data types that are available for use in Python. We will then see classes, modules, and packages and see how they are used in Python. Next, we will cover several object-oriented paradigms like encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, etc. and we will see how they are achieved in Python. Next, we will see Python functions and variables. Then we will go about basic operators available at our disposal in Python. Following up, we will go over looping and control constructs in Python and see how we can achieve them in Python. Then we will go about the memory management feature in Python and learn about it in detail. After that, we will cover collections in which we will see lists, tuples, dictionary, sets, and we will also cover lambda feature in Python. Then we will go over string and file related handling operations in Python. We will also cover errors, exception, and logging modules in Python, and then we will cover unit testing. Next up, we will go over threading and multiprocessing feature in Python and learn it in a practical way. And finally, we will be covering a bit of advanced topics where we will go over iterators, generators, map, reduce and filter and couple of other topics. This is what we will be covering throughout this course. At last, let's see who all can benefit from this course. Talking about the target audience for this course will be useful for college students and even for industry professionals who are looking to learn Python from scratch. On the same note, this course will also be useful for anyone who is looking to learn Python from scratch. Now that we have had an introduction about what to expect from this course, let's get moving with the course. Thank you.